right, you know it's time for Your Goals Realized, and it's brought to you by JN Fund Managers Limited. My name is Nadine Blair, and yes, it is that time. And with me today in studio is Dolores Jones and Peter Gay Miller. Welcome once again.
Hi, Nadine. Good morning, listeners. Nadine, we so look forward to Tuesday mornings and a chance to share with you and the JNFM and Love 101 family.
Awesome.
And Nadine, you know, it's a great pleasure when the financial advisory team in my office meet and counsel with persons who have indicated that they are reaching out to us because they are hearing this program. The connections are happening, Nadine.
Awesome.
And through both our companies, we are working with Jamaicans.
Awesome, awesome. And Dolores, thank you so much for that. Last week, you and Peter Gay left us all energized and ready, doing maths and everything. And all about investing for the college education for our young ones. And what I found interesting was that you both mentioned that from your experience in Jamaica, securing funds for college is seen by many as a matter for grandparents, auntie, uncle, and sibling, and everybody else, not just parents, but every member of the family's, the child's family circle.
Right. Oh, yes, Nadine.
Yes.
Jamaicans know the value of a good education, and most of us make sure that one way or another we do the best for the children in our lives. And this is why we encourage the Love 101 family to listen carefully as we all have helping hands for the children in our family and circles. Ask many a successful Jamaican, Nadine, and they will tell you that somebody helped them with tuition or other expenses throughout their lifetime going to school. Last week, some of the figures Peter Gay shared was startling. As some listeners indicated, it was even mind-boggling. But the good thing is that we have also given solutions, so we know it can be done. And as Peter Gay said, it's best to start when the child is very young. And this week, she will share more with us. So over to you, Miss Peter Gay.
All right, Peter Gay has the points for us this morning, you know.
Yes, good morning, Nadine, and good morning to our listeners. Now, this week, what we'll be doing is looking at the cost for university for children just being born, because we continuously encourage our listeners to start planning from day one. Right? So as I said, the factors that we want to consider when we're calculating the amounts we will need for our children's university are the age that they'll begin college, the number of years until college, the number of years that they will stay in college, which is normally 4, the number of, or the inflation rate between now and the end of education, the estimated annual college cost today, which we spoke of last week, the adjusted cost for college in the future, which is 18 years from now, as well as the total cost. So we're looking at the future value, the present value, and the total cost. We also have to look at the tax rate, the rate of return on the savings or investment that they have, if you have any current savings put aside for your children, as well as the future value of these investments when you may need to pull down on them. And we need to look at the annual amount that we need to invest for our child's education, as well as the monthly amount. Now, listeners, the monthly amount you will approximately need to send your child to college or university in the next couple of years is $139,800.
The monthly?
I know, monthly. Now, we can't predict interest rates and inflation in the future.
Right.
But based on historical data and some of the factors that we mentioned before, this is the approximate amount that we will need to start putting away now. So we're stressing the word no. We need to start now. Now, last week we mentioned scholarship. And this week we have a few other options that we want to look at. We spoke briefly of investing in a unit trust because this is a very useful and flexible option. We can also think about putting money in a bond account because paying a little extra, we always say every mickle makes a muckle, right? So putting even a little extra in your bond account, it's a good way of saving, creating that nest egg that you can tap into to cover expenses for your children's tuition fees. We want to also invest in their academic or sports achievement. All our kids nowadays want to be the next Usain Bolt or the next Shelly Ann. So we need to realize their potential and help them to build on that, right? Another very key aspect that we have to look at is selecting the colleges successfully, right? The type of college that our children choose is a personal decision for them, but it's also based on their individual needs and talents.
Right.
So some of the factors or the questions we want to look at. Why do you want to go to college? What do you hope to achieve by going to college? Do you want to stay near home or study abroad? So those are some of the questions. We need to apply for the colleges effectively. Once you've narrowed down the type of college that you want to go to, you need to begin to gather all the necessary information. And some of them that you will need are your official high school transcript, your application fee, your college admission test scores, and your exam scores. So all of those things are some of what you will need, as well as letters of recommendation. We also want to point out that financial literacy is very, very important. It's not just for family members. It's not just for loved ones. It's not just for older persons or mature persons. It's for our children to learn from the very tender age that they need to put something aside. So we want to teach our children how to manage their money, set a budget early, not just high school, from the smaller age, right? Because it's very important. And it's the perfect opportunity for us to get our children a checking account or a savings account and teach them exactly how to make smart financial decisions. Don't just because you have some money, you go and buy a sweetie. You know, put it down for something. Let them feel excited. Do a program that will make them want to save, you know. And students should also be taught about credit card debt very early.
Oh, yes.
Very, very early because from they start working, you know, the one thing that they'll want to do is get a credit card. But we have to teach them. And if it is that a student will end up with a card, right, it's vitally important, right, to teach them to pay off the card each month and only to use it at emergencies.
So it is possible indeed. All right. Well, thank you, Peter Gay. For those of us who are thinking only about fees and tuition, we're forgetting to add the basic living expenses that university students face, and that's a good reminder. Also notice that many adults are facing tuition fees for their children and for themselves as they too are returning to school, you know, to finish up, remain current, or, you know, retool for jobs and all of that, right, Dolores?
So true, Nadine. That is so true. It means that investment options that Peter Gay shared would have applied not only to parents planning for their children, but for adults themselves. In these times, we are all looking to improve our ability to earn. We also want the type of quality education for our children and ourselves that allows us to follow our passion and to earn salaries at the same time. Now, we know that we have to keep our spending in line with our income and our commitments. So I'm reminding listeners that we can send you a JNFM budget card in the mail. All you have to do is text us at 877-2612 or email us at jnfundmanagers jnfundmanagers@jnbs.com.
Awesome. Anything for next week? Any homework?
Nadine, we're giving break from homework this week as we're venturing in a
One
new
man
direction. So we're preparing persons for next week's program so that they do not have a lot to do this week.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for stopping by and sharing inside the program your goals realized. And I trust you mentioned that persons are responding. I trust they'll tell others, because everybody needs some financial guidance. Don't think, oh, I can do this on my own. I got this. Yeah, you got this, but you can got it more. If I can use that term, you can got it more.
And Nadine, I'll also like to remind our listeners that all the programs are available on Jane Fund Managers' Facebook page. So go on, listen, and share with your friends.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies. Dolores Jones and Peter K. Miller for sharing this morning inside Your Goals Realized, brought to you by JN Fund Managers Limited. Until next week, God bless.